Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Monster's Den. Today, we're going to be doing a normal Ranma discussion, just generally talking about the show. And with me today, I have, you know him, you love him, Roderick D. Narrator.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Hey, make sure to add in an audience applause while I do this. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Thank you. It's good to be back.
I'll find the very first free one I can find, and one with just the audio. Ranma is a show that we both talk about quite frequently, I'd say. Even though I've been talking about it for a much longer time, it seems that you are starting to also share my enthusiasm for this. And a side note for the audience is that a little bit behind the curtains, we tried to record an episode before, and there were a lot of technical issues, so here we are doing it again.
We're on phase 2 now.
That
was pre-production. This is post-production.
Second gig, baby. But yeah, Ranma.
Let's rock.
But yeah, Ranma One Half is if you guys don't know, is a show created by Rumiko Takahashi, and she is the creator of a bunch of shows like Urusei, Maison Ikoku, Inuyasha, Mao. I'm probably missing one or two that are pretty famous.
I think there's like 2 or 3 out there that's.
But yeah, she's been in the game for a very long time, and I think this is her middle series. She made the show, not the show, but the manga, Ranma One Half. And what I like about Rumiko, especially with what she does with some of the her locales, is that she always likes to set them in different places. She herself is from Niigata, so it's not necessarily a what do you call it? Like a face of a city. It's not an iconic tourist spot within Japan, and that kind of reflects into where she wants to set her locations. In the case for Ranma One Half, she decided to set it in Nerma, and Nerma at the time in the what was it? I think she created Ranma One Half around the mid '80s. I want to say in the manga.
82.
Oh, 82. There we go. Naruma was kind of an offshoot city away from Tokyo, so this would be the equivalent of setting your I don't know, Marvel movie in Baltimore.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think it's pretty cool that she was willing to go out and try out a different city rather than just setting it in the generic Tokyo that everyone knows at this point. But
my bad. I kind of jumped the gun. It wasn't 82. It was 87.
87.
Who'd say it was 82?
2 years before The Simpsons.
Oh my god, totally.
Ranma One Half had him beat. So let's just get into a more personal topic, which is our own first experiences with Ranma One Half, because a little bit of backstory with both of us is that we are younger than this series.
So true.
So we did not watch this when it came out. Nart,
it was impossible.
You know what? Since I've been talking a lot, Nart, do you want to explain how, or enlighten us, how was your first experience of watching Ranma One Half?
It's funny that you mentioned that, because my first experience with Ranma One Half was you introducing me to the series. I believe we were watching something on Netflix. It could have been like Demon Slayer or something like that. But you had noticed that there was a Ranma remake, or the 2024 HD remake for Ranma One Half over on like the little sidebar. And I was curious, and then so I clicked on it. And me personally, I grew up watching Inuyasha like at 5 a.m. On Cartoon Network.
You got glimpses of it back in the day.
Yeah, but it's like I never put two and two together, realizing that it was uh, another part of like Rumiko's work, and I just thought I was like, oh man, this is really cute. Like I love the art style so much, and this is something that I will always boast about. Rumiko has a fantastic art style.
Her vibes
I
are
love the
great.
way that she just does characters. Um, and then so we watched like a little bit of that episode, and we kind of turned it off because we're just like dropping call or something. But then I went back and then watched the first season of the 2024 version, and I'm like, this is actually really good. I wonder how good the 90s version is.
You
And
had
so
an
I went
arc
all
where
the way
you went
back.
through that, bro.
Heck yeah.
Like I can't believe it. I think I introduced you to Rama at an earlier point, but you were it was like at a party, I suppose, and we were
Mm.
all kind of just watching it passively, kind of playing it in the background sort of thing. No one was really paying attention to Rama that much. Though it was kind of shocking to hear that you loved the 20s version so much that you decided to go and watch all of the original.
Mm-hmm.
And as for my own experience, I guess I should I might as well start it off as well. I I was in Mexico visiting my grandparents' house, and they had a random Spanish episode of Rama playing in the background. I forgot what the episode was like, which one it is. All I remember is that Rama was in a river, in like a little raft, and she was avoiding some kind of obstacles or whatever, like with logs
Mm.
were getting thrown at her, Donkey Kong style. Completely forgot the context, but all I remember is that this setting looks really cool and similar to Nard. It was Rumiko's aesthetic that really pulled me into wanting to know more about it. That being said, I was very young when I first saw that episode, and I didn't go out of my way to look for anime until way later, and I found Rama one half. I want to say towards maybe my late teens. So there was like about an 8 year gap since I watched that first episode and delved into it. But when I did delve into it, I kind of played it a little bit like It's Always Sunny, where you just play something in the background and just watch it over and over and over again. That's basically what I did with Ramen One Half. And where that led me to is uh, this show has consumed a lot of my the passive stuff, I suppose, the stuff in the background.
Mm.
But yes, and I eventually liked it so much that I tried to introduce my friends into it, and so far, Nart has been the only success.
Yay.
Huzzah!
It'd be like that though. No,
All right.
it if there's one thing that I've always been a huge appreciator of is the combination of the Japanese and Chinese aesthetics, because both are fantastic, but when you combine them both, you're like, it's so eye-catching.
Mm-hmm.
There's a similar series called Gokurakugai, or City of Paradise, I think what it's called in English. Uh, but it does something similar where it takes place in Japan, but it takes place in the Chinatown of Japan. So you get like the hustle and bustle of like a Chinese city, but with like the decorative assets of a Japanese town, and it's like it's just so eye-catching, like you said.
Mm-hmm. It's a completely different vibe altogether. And someone like
Yeah.
you, in particular, because uh, back in our college years, I'd say, I was pretty much the hyper weeb where I was Japan or bust. But Nart in particular had a dual interest in China and Japan. And I think this is why it caught you, like the cultural aspect probably caught you a lot more than it did me.
Mm-hmm.
But
It's really nice to be able to have a show that jumps back and forth, surprisingly, with how many times it just references China, or how much it brings in different characters or different aesthetics, with just this giant, surprisingly giant cast of colorful characters.
Oh yeah. I mean, within the first episode, we see, what do you call it? Like it starts in China, and then it immediately jumps back into Japan, just in the first episode alone.
Mm.
Which, speaking of, how did you feel about that first episode?
I think the first episode does a great job setting the setting, basically, where it introduces your primary setting, which is going to be the Tendo Dojo, the situation that our characters are put in, where Ranma is meant to marry one of the Tendo daughters, but we get introduced to our main character of Ranma and his father Genma in their transformed state, which is them running through the streets in the rain, and basically fighting in like the city streets, until eventually we find them, Genma as a panda walking through the Tendo halls with Ranma over his shoulders, and everyone's like, what the hell is going on here?
And I believe I forgot. Did Genma get transformed back into a human in that episode, or within the
he
same
did
sequence?
Eventually.
Yeah,
And that was the point where I think it was like Nabiki or Kasumi was like, oh, hey, who's that guy talking with dad? And the other one's like, I have no idea.
yeah.
I was like, oh.
So I have a very weird take, and this is not to trash or whatever, or talk or downplay the rest of Ranma, but I think the first episode of Ranma might be one of my favorites.
No, absolutely.
Just because it does such an amazing job at setting up all the characters, in addition to having an interesting storyline and twist within the episode itself. Because in the very first episode, Akane, and really everyone that isn't Genma, doesn't know that Rama has gone through a transformation and it was originally male. And that created a little bit of, what do you call it? Like, Akane was starting to perceive Ranma in just her girl self. And you can see how Akane perceives men versus women. Because when you
Yes.
get introduced to Akane, you see her getting proposed to a bunch of guys and whatever, getting bothered by all of them and whatnot. And she kind of sees having a female companion as something valuable.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, the show eventually twisted where this is actually a guy, and she sees a kind of a betrayal of that.
Yeah. Where she walks in on the dude in a hot bath, and it's like, oh no, this is just all bad. This is all bad happening.
Damn, Rama himself really takes the L's when it comes to those moments.
Yeah, he really does. But hey, he has to be the butt of the joke most of the time.
True.
His name's on the billboard.
Even though I'd argue some other characters take that title more, but Rama is certainly he gets quite a lot himself.
Yes.
So other than that, Ranma, the first episode of Ranma does a lot for me, especially when it comes to setting up the character for Akane, which has been a very debated thing among the both of us.
Yes.
So I guess we can make our stance clear. I am a huge fan of Akane. And Nart, what is your stance on Akane?
Well, now this is the difficult part, because there's technically two Akanes. The 1990s version of Akane, I cannot stand her. I hate her character so much. However, what they do with her in the Netflix adaptation in 2024 is they actually make Akane such a likable character that you're like, oh, no, I totally see the chemistry between her and Ranma, where it's like back in the 90s version, I couldn't see it at all. Her portrayal was terrible.
Yeah. I am starting to see a different lens of Akane, and I'm kind of wondering when you think about this. Do you think Akane is a misandrist?
Well, the
Rather intentionally or not?
I want to say unintentionally, because she does get along with male characters. The only problem is she has a lot of baggage when it comes to everyone at the school and her having to do the 100 guy rally every single time. And it's like I could totally see why she would hate guys after that situation,
Yeah.
especially having to deal with some asshole like Kuno.
Oh yeah. Which I want to get to. Or do you want to skip to Kuno, or do you want to keep going on Akane? Well, since we're
I
Akane,
think we should keep going with Akane.
Yeah.
She's kind of a pivotal character in this show.
That's true. That's true. Sorry, I forgot that like your style of talking versus Kai's is I have to be flexible to jump around with Kai, and we're a little more like let's get this part done.
Yeah.
If you guys want to know about that, you guys should listen in on the Berserk podcast. Anyways, so Akane is I can see why people don't like the 90s version of it. And once again, my love for Akane kind of beacons back to that very first episode because her setup was so good, and that alone to me kind of carries her premise as a character. Even though I completely understand where Nart is coming from, Akane can sometimes be at best a okay character in a decent episode, at worst an extremely unabashedly kind of illogical bratty teenager.
Yeah, and it's the illogical part that I could never really seem to kind of like bend over backwards for her, because her entire character, and I think the first episode does such a terrible like service for her compared to the rest of the show, because she gets introduced as this black belt kung fu style martial artist, and the first thing that she does is bare knuckle smashes a cinder block with her fist.
Yes.
Like, holy crap, she's strong. The next scene is her picking up one of the stone lanterns and chucking it at Ranma. But throughout the rest of the show, she becomes like this damsel in distress.
Mm-hmm.
So Ranma has to go save her. And whenever the other like bachelorettes, I suppose, for Ranma are introduced, Akane is slowly always being put down a peg for every single girl being introduced. It's so nuts.
Like, I think even Ukyo
So-
looks more viable than Akane does.
I love Ukyo, and it sucks how I love this complete side character more than Akane, who's a main character. She's on the billboard. I should love Akane.
Really harkening back to your Naruto roots there.
Yeah.
Anyways,
But it's like, it really sucks when like Akane's characteristics are introduced as she can't cook, which is a lead up to the joke of anyone who tastes her food gets sick, and she gets really mad about it.
classic.
She can't swim, so whenever she's around water, she has to either be saved by Ranma, and because she's saved by Ranma, Ranma gets hurt because she's mad. And it's like, and then
I know what you mean. There's
hate
there's
it.
a lot of you're right, because it is very contradictory to how that she was introduced. It honestly makes it appear that her long hair was the origin of her power, and I guess cutting it off made her weak.
Heck yeah.
I'm just saying, maybe long hair Akane is the superior one. Am I right, guys? But
I'm not gonna lie. After a few episodes, I'm kind of like, you know what? I kind of miss long-haired Akane.
you know what it is actually? I I went back and looked at Rumiko's history and tried to watch some anime that I haven't looked at previously. All of her female characters have long hair. And it makes me think that Rumiko kind of looked at Akane and was like, you know what? I should challenge myself and actually make a short hair female lead. And I think that's why
I
they made the
appreciate that.
rug pull.
It's funny that you say that because one of the series afterwards, Mao, that lead female also has short hair.
Oh, that's the only one I haven't watched. Damn. What a
Oh,
coincidence.
that's okay. Well, guess what? It's getting an HD remake coming this year, I think.
Soon.
I don't
TM.
know. Soon.
And what's her face from Inuyasha has it. Like the Udase has it.
Oh, Kagome. Yeah, she
Yeah.
has. Yeah, she has long
Yeah,
hair.
Kagome, that was her name.
All the females in Inuyasha have long hair. Now that I think about it,
Yeah,
even Inuyasha has long hair.
and there you go. And hey, I don't blame Rumiko. I love long hair, both on men and women. But
Mm.
this is, I think Akane was starting to kind of brainstorm a character like Shampoo, and wanted to kind of contrast the Shampoo's long hair because maybe she already made the concept art and she loved the design, and maybe she wanted to make it look different from her, so they gave Akane short hair. But unfortunately, it was very tragic because I really loved the way they Rumiko stylized Akane's long hair.
Yeah, I think the
That's neither here nor there.
difficulty is especially how it started off as a manga, um, because Shampoo, for those of you who actually have or have not watched it yet, Shampoo has purple hair, and originally she had black hair. So it's kind of difficult when you have Ranma with black hair, and then Akane with black hair, and then Shampoo with black hair, and then even Kasumi with black hair, and it's like, oh my gosh, all of these characters have like relatively the same hairstyle. We have no idea who's talking, which character is which.
Yeah.
We need to fix this
Well,
now.
hair color gets weird in Rama because canonically, maybe not canonically, but the very first interpretation was that Rama-chan's original hair was supposed to be black,
Yes.
and they stuck along with that
There
for a
was supposed to
while.
be no change except for the sexes.
Yes, and then once the anime came around, it really solidified the fact that Rama-chan's hair should be kind of red, or at least that should be the main representation of it,
Yes.
and that's what it ended up being, kind of accepted until the 20s version, which made it more pink.
Hmm.
So hair color
Which I don't
doesn't
know.
matter too much, but it's not like JoJo where it gets ridiculous. Though there is
The coloration style.
every frame is different at that point, but there is a little bit of more continuity with what the hair color is which. When I think about Shampoo's canonical, quote unquote canonical hair back in the day in the anime, it was supposed to be blue, which I think is way
Yeah.
more appealing than the purple in the 20s version.
I can kind of go with either. It's always a difficulty depending on um how to explain it. It's difficult to pin down when you like both. So when one works in one scene and then like the blue works in another scene, you're like, oh yeah, I can do both.
Yeah. The reason I'm okay with the purple is because it does help kind of give Akane her own blue tone to herself.
Yes,
Um,
I like the fact that she is blue.
Yeah. That being said, I really liked the bright blue contrasting Rama-chan's bright red. I think
Hmm.
in those scenes I liked Shampoo with blue hair, and in most scenes. But if you put Akane next to Shampoo, then I definitely prefer Shampoo with purple hair.
Yes, exactly.
So who's to say?
Rumiko, she can say.
I, she's too
She's the only one.
she's too busy with whatever she's working on right now. Too. She probably doesn't care anymore.
Yeah. She's like, Ranma, what?
What's a Ranma?
Ramen? Oh yeah, sure. I can go for some food.
That'd be crazy. Creator night. She's done so many works that she doesn't even think about her past works. Although,
One day I will go up to Tai Kubo, ask him about zombie powder, and the first thing he's gonna say is, "What?"
tell him ask him what his favorite filler arc is.
It's like, I was never part of those.
Anyways, I
But speaking of filler, let's talk more about Ranma.
I did want to touch a little bit on Ranma themselves. Obviously, because
Oh, sure.
Ranma's weird because he is the main face of the show, and
He's the billboard. Yes.
and the problem with these characters is that it's not necessarily who they are, but their actions reflect the character who are making those actions. So it says
Yes.
more about the character doing something to Ranma, and there's not as much to talk about Ranma themselves, if that makes sense.
It is difficult when you get like your primary season, your primary episodes, and more or less it's Ranma being very reactionary towards his environment. The reasoning for his outbursts is because someone introduces another type of martial arts, and so he's like, "Oh, I gotta go beat up that guy," and then it kind of is like, "But why?" And Ranma's like, "Because I gotta." It's like, oh, okay. So that's just going to be the entire plot of this episode.
This does remind me. Were you going somewhere with that? Because I kind of want to shift the conversation a
go
bit.
for it.
Okay, so it's really interesting because despite this being a female author, Rumiko tends to have a lot of characters, and this is also true for her works before Ranma. There's a kind of a characteristic with toxic masculinity put into the main male lead. And even though I can talk about the other shows, specifically for Ranma, there's a huge emphasis on, I guess, the idea of being a man. I think Ranma himself inhibits all of those. So don't show your emotions. Never back out of a challenge. Back in the 90s, also, that also meant be misogynistic towards women, I suppose. Because Ranma has
Many
a little bit
such
of
cases, yes.
Ranma has a little bit of that as well. Not crazy amounts, but he has a little bit of that. The only thing he doesn't really have, compared to other toxic masculine characters that Rumiko used to write, was the kind of perviness that came with him. Ranma himself is pretty. I don't want to use the word asexual, but he's not that sexually motivated.
No, he never, I think he's the only character that we ever get to see, and by like character, I mean like of the kids, and not talking about like Tendo and Genma.
Yeah.
Genma, yeah. Ranma's dad.
The non-middle-aged characters.
Of like all the high school aged characters, he's the only one that never like actively pursues a female character, where everyone is either like, oh, I gotta get Akane, or oh, I gotta get Shampoo, or oh, I gotta get Ukyo. Ranma's the only one who's like, yeah, cool, whatever.
Yeah, bro's a Sigma.
Dude, he's got it locked down. He's just martial arts 24/7.
I just want to fight, for God's sakes.
Hey, it's me, Goku.
This really is like, what would happen if you put a shonen protagonist into a rom-com?
Yeah. And I think that is another reason why I think I like this show so much, is that you get the crazy antics of things exploding, people summoning dragons and monsters showing up out of nowhere. But at the end of the day, we're all still in this little Japanese town, and everyone's still going to school the next day.
Yeah. It has that element in addition to a romance with a twist.
Yes.
Which Rumiko has done before. Her themes are usually this but a twist. With this one, it is that toxic masculine character, but the twist is, well, what would happen if they transform into a female? And I think that was the premise she was going on when it came to writing Ranma. in the whole of Ranma 1/2, because she kind of builds on that now, where, well, what if a female character has a positive relationship with the female form, but in the male form? The premise gets built on, and I think that's great. And I would argue the best characters are built on the premise of Ranma switching in and out of male and female form, in my opinion.
I see what you mean. Unless that character is Ryoga.
Well, Ryoga doesn't quite play with that, I think.
The issue is Ryoga is constantly always after Akane, but not only has Ryoga met Ranma-chan, fought Ranma-chan, talked to Ranma-chan, like actively transformed Ranma into Ranma-chan, but is also consecutively always fooled by Ranma-chan.
I think he is the dumbest character of them all.
I'm like, Ryoga, my guy, you know who this person is. And it's like, and like Ranma-chan goes up and is like, oh, Ryoga, you're so strong. Would you pay more attention to me than that silly old Akane? And he's like, oh, points at fingers, looks down, sweat drips off face. Oh, I really hope that this girl likes me. It's like, dude, you know who this person is.
I'm going to chalk that up to Ryoga just actually being the canonically dumbest character.
I think that, yeah, there's something wrong with Ryoga for sure.
He's good. I mean, he seems to know his shit when it comes to combat, but anything outside of that, the guy's got his tism. It doesn't quite click for him.
Oh yeah.
I had this question written down, and this is kind of what I was wondering. So if the show Ranma 1/2 features Ranma and Akane, obviously as the poster childs, if we were to turn this into a trio, who would that third character be? When it comes to putting an advertisement or a representation of Ranma. And don't say Ranma-chan, because that's cheating.
I was actually going to, because I'm like, that's literally the whole point of the show. And
no, you're
like,
right. You're right.
I guess that's kind of the reason why P-chan is always like front and center with Akane, because unless you watch the show, you don't know that the little pig is Ryoga.
Yeah. Do you think that Ryoga is a better representation of a trio than Shampoo is?
No, because Ryoga himself is so hyper fixated.
I have my own answer, but I'm really
and here's the problem that, like, here's the thing. Ryoga is such a good rival character because he's a good rival for just Ranma, but never seems to be a right fit for Akane. So it's like he always seems to be just on the one side, where Shampoo, on the other hand, is a good rival for Akane, but also seems to be a good fit for Ranma.
That's fair.
Which kind of helps out that romantic trio, or the love triangle, literally.
That's fair. And also, it's easier to put on merchandise because you can technically put 3 female characters on it and sell hotcakes.
Ladies, literally have the mugs that say so.
It's all over Japan. Figures of Ranma-chan, Akane, and Shampoo, mostly Shampoo and Ranma-chan, are everywhere.
Yeah.
Although finding male Ranma and Ryoga, pretty rare.
Trying to find anything for Ryoga is pretty hard without it just being P-chan.
That's what I was about to say. There's a lot of P-chan.
The only thing I found out was like the T-shirt, and I think it was like a cup that you showed me.
Yeah, it was a mug next to that one that I bought you.
Yeah. But other than that, I think I've only seen one figure of male Ranma, and the other one is like a posable action figure.
Yeah. Same here, honestly.
Yeah.
Get your Ranma-chan.
Get the Ranma-chan.
So,
you like your girls.
So I'm willing to give Ryoga... Oh god, I'm gonna sneeze. That was a cough. I'm willing to
Hell yeah.
give Ryoga some credit because at least just on paper, I'm not saying I like this more or less, but I on the premise, Ryoga does a better job of introducing a love triangle, an actual one, not a love angle, but an actual love triangle within the two main characters. Because as you said, Ryoga does play around a little bit more with the female form of Ranma. So there is some
Mm-hmm.
more romantic tension between Ryoga and Ranma. Not that any of it is canon, but it is. I don't know. I feel it represents having a love triangle a lot better than say Shampoo, which Shampoo and Akane don't really have a lot together other than fuck you bitch, and then Akane like
Yeah.
flips her off and that's it, right? That's the end of their interaction. And
Yeah.
my answer to your question, or my own question, sorry, that I had was who should be number 3 on the poster? And something I've thought about was I think Shampoo works as the third one in the 20s version, while Ryoga works better in the 90s version. I don't know if you agree with me or not. Agree with me or not.
I see what you mean.
And that's the end of the podcast. Sorry, I was waiting for a follow
Well,
up.
I'm still just thinking about it.
Okay, you're digesting it. I apologize.
It's me still just looking at like the actual like posters for the show, and it's like, nah, but it should just totally be Ranma-chan though.
I mean, that's the easy way out. It really is.
Well, I mean, it's the literal way out. It's like you look at the posters for the shows and like, oh yeah, Ranma-chan, and Akane. They're always like the three up front.
Yeah. But nowadays, I feel like you're seeing a lot of Shampoo. That's kind of what I wanted to say.
I think Shampoo, just because of a lot of terms of fan service, she provides a lot for people.
I do really think that Shampoo was handled really well in the 20s version. I mean, this goes for all the characters in the 20s version, but Shampoo is another standout because her her first set of episodes, I forgot how many. I forgot how long her introduction arc was. I think it was 1 or 2, 3 episodes max. Anyways, her introductory
I
arc
think so.
was it was pretty good, but Shampoo kind of came off extremely hostile, and really possessive, and that's really
Yes.
all you would assume Shampoo would be throughout that entire arc, until you get to that very last scene that was a lot better portrayed in the 20s version, where you see that Shampoo was not just objectifying Ranma because they won, but she legitimately has feelings for Ranma. And that really turned me
Mm.
around on how much I actually liked her, writing wise. That it wasn't just a cope and it's not because she had a good design, but actually, there's a good character underneath there.
Exactly. Like there's actually purpose for her wanting to be with Ranma.
But yeah, it's pretty hard for me to justify liking Shampoo, if that makes sense, because I like Shampoo, but I can't explain it well on why I like it. It's kind of like Mikasa, right? Where I remember when sorry,
That's
I'm
so
gonna go a
true.
little bit off track, but I swear I'd link back
No,
to
it's so
Shampoo.
true.
Back in the day when I was just saying, yeah, no, Mikasa's a really cool character. Someone, a woman no less, just to emphasize how blinded I was by this and how obvious it is to someone of the opposite gender. They pointed out that, okay, well, I don't really care about Mikasa because she's just a badass bottom text. She just does shit, but she doesn't actually have a character outside of that. That's not really an interesting character to me. And that really made me
Mm.
think for the very first time, and it made me go like, well, shit, am I just falling for the meme? Is that it? So now I reflect on that a lot, and I'm thinking about Shampoo, where I like what I'm seeing. It's a very cute girl that's kind of has some yandere undertones, has a little bit of lust in translation in there, has all these really fun, I don't know, just kind of decorations to her. But the actual
Mm.
raw writing, it's pretty hard to justify liking Shampoo that much, unless it's for very selfish reasons.
Now, in order to further my my point of view, I will then have to introduce Ukyo as a character, and then the following Bachelorette for Ranma, where throughout the entire show I don't get this chemistry feeling at all with Ranma and Akane. Like Akane just seems to be like the biggest hard ass towards our main character. They don't get along. Every single episode is them fighting, and if they're not fighting, then they're just not together in the show. And it's like I don't get why there's such a negative push between these two staple characters. And then when you get Shampoo introduced, you're like, oh, there's this new character. She is on par when it comes to fighting with Ranma. They technically is heavy quotes, they technically have history with each other. Um, and then they can both technically have a ways of communicating, which is either through combat or male Ranma is actually very easily able to talk to Shampoo, which for some reason he just can't do with Akane, or Akane just can't do with Ranma.
Right.
And then we get introduced to Ukyo, Ranma's childhood friend, who is in a quote okonomiyaki master, which means she can cook.
Actual tomboy.
But actual tomboy, like for realsies tomboy, because she even still dresses in the male student uniform.
Yes.
And she legitimately has rapport, chemistry, and like she has such a draw to her as a character where I'm like, where was she when we've been dealing with Akane this entire time? And that's why I'm like, I don't understand why this side character is portrayed so much better as like a romantic interest than one of the poster children. It's insane.
Yeah. It's because Ukyo is a very likable character, if that makes sense. Where like
Yes.
there's nothing really bad about her. The only bad thing you can say about her is that she might make you gain weight over time, but she's a really nice character. Like she doesn't do anything wrong. She gets along with everyone that comes to her restaurant, and so much to the point where it becomes a hangout spot in the 90s version. So, she's just kind of cool.
Yeah.
Although when I think about Ukyo, my I don't want to say a problem, but maybe the lack of something is kind of causing it. Where I don't think Ukyo interacts much with the premise of the show of Ranma flipping genders, and that's my biggest critique of Ukyo. Where I guess you can say the tomboy stuff kind of mirrors a little bit with Ranma, but compared to Akane and Shampoo, there's not really much to toy around with there.
Yeah.
Maybe if they gave Ukyo more, I would like her more. But that's asking to give something more to Rikyo, because she is a very sideline character.
I totally see what you mean. Like there's a concept to say that Ukyo is technically too perfect, considering she doesn't have anything to fix, which means that she doesn't have like a characteristic draw.
Yeah, I would say she's kind of. I don't know. I don't know if this is maybe on the mark or way off the mark, but I think she feels kind of like a discount Kasumi. Because Kasumi, I feel...
Yeah, Kasumi's great.
Kasumi plays that role way better just because she's related to Akane, and you know, really the Tendo household is their own character in their own right.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think Kasumi plays the role of being a supporting character away from the love triangle way more. But because Ukiyo is kind of involved in all of it, it makes her position feel a bit out of place.
I see what you mean.
But I'm not.
It also makes it difficult to have yet another romantic rival when you technically have 4 or 5 now, and you're like, man, this is kind of getting it's kind of getting crowded now.
Was Ukiyo the last one introduced, or was that Moose?
um Moose was.
Moose was. Okay.
Yeah, it was Ukiyo, and then Moose should have been introduced.
Yeah. Which the last two rivals are kind of the weakest ones introduced for obvious reasons. They feel a little more.
God, I freaking hate Moose.
So, you know what? Let's just jump ship to Moose. So, I also kind of have the same problem with Moose, but there's less to like there, and that's the fact that Moose doesn't really interact much with the setup with the Ranma stuff. Sure, he has the whole goose thing going on with the reference to the springs. I just don't think it really does a lot.
That shtick kind of gets really old after the 16th time, like, it's been told, where it's like, hey, something happened. I went to the Jusenkyos, and because of Ranma, I was put into the spring. And it's like, and yet now they hate Ranma because of it. It's like, but why? It had nothing to do with Ranma.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part. So I like Shampoo's transformation because it was very well emphasized in the 20s version that Ranma is scared of cats. And that played really well with Shampoo transforming into a cat. Well, now you have a lot more to play around with. Moose is a character where the duck thing is just kind of there as maybe some kind of gag or whatever. But it just doesn't really interact with any of the characters that much. The way I wish it... I don't know. This is just a suggestion, right? It doesn't have to be this way, but something like it, where, say, Moose transforming into... I think is it a duck or a goose? It's a goose, right?
It's a duck.
Okay.
I hate that because it's like, oh, Moose the goose, but it's a duck.
Okay.
It's like, come on, you're right there.
A duck then. There we go. What if there was a condition where if Shampoo is transformed into a cat and Moose is transformed into a goose, Shampoo can't help themselves but to kill the duck.
Ooh.
And now you kind of have
Even though
more to toy around with.
Even though frickin' Shampoo is a Chinese food chef,
Yeah.
so just cooking him up to Peking duck would not be hard.
And there you go. Now you have something to toy around with, right? Moose is kind of a third layer kind of character where he isn't really supporting the main characters. He's supporting a supporting character.
Exactly. And that's the part that sucks because he doesn't do a good job at that either.
Yeah. So I think having something in an interaction like that where the transformations kind of play along with it, you would have had a moment where Shampoo is trying to fluster Ranma in her cat form, but Moose is also transformed into a duck form. So now you have something to kind of toy around with that entire dynamic. It would add a lot more to Moose, in my opinion.
It's like you could also run the same gauntlet where it's like, oh, Ryoga can never tell Akane that he's Pichon, much like Moose can never tell Shampoo that he's the duck.
Exactly.
But it's like him being a supportive character to a supporting character is very difficult considering he, as a character, no one likes him. And the best supporting character for Shampoo is her grandmother, a Cologne.
Yeah, Cologne,
who also doesn't like Moose.
Yeah. No, Would Kasumi even be nice to Moose? Who knows?
Who knows? As far as I can tell, I don't think either of those two have any screen time together.
Nor should they.
Exactly.
I don't know, hot take for
But it's
all the Kasumi X Moose fans, but I don't think they should have anything.
there's one.
I don't want to meet them.
And they're watching this right now.
It's me. No. But that's besides the point. Do you want to jump into Colone since we kind of referenced her?
I think she's a fantastic character.
She's great, especially when compared to the other old man character, which you might get into. Like Colone is.
Oh god.
Colone, I think, is, just having a cool, badass old lady is pretty refreshing because all the badass old characters tend to be men. So
Yes.
it's just kind of a nice contrast. But additionally, she kind of helps. Just being surpassing strength for Ranma is already an interesting dynamic because it plays into Ranma, but she also supports Akane, not Akane, sorry. It supports Shampoo, and coincidentally also Moose, which kind of creates like a little mini faction. But she also has like connections with Genma and Happosai. She has a lot to offer here.
Yeah.
But additionally, she also kind of plays the role of the rule setter. This is what's going to happen in this episode because Colone said so.
Yes. And I think that's the interesting part. And there's definitely moments where Cologne feels self-aware.
Yes.
Of the situation between both Ranma and Shampoo, where Shampoo really loves Ranma, but Ranma wants nothing to do with Shampoo. So in order to help Ranma, she puts him in these types of situations where it's like, oh, unless you marry my great-granddaughter, you can't turn back into a guy, or I'm not going to teach you how to do the chestnuts over the roasting fire technique, or some kind of thing, until he has to actively learn to do it himself, which is a really interesting way for the quote master type character to teach the student character.
Yeah, it's kind of a play on the riddle Chinese master.
Yeah.
And I really like her because of that. And also she looks super good in the young flashback she had.
Damn.
So that's plus points.
How does Happosai even leave?
Do you want Happosai sucks, whatever. I'm just going to say it. Like,
Bad character, terrible character. Next topic.
do we want to get? I mean, like, how much you want to get into it? Happosai
Bad.
sucks.
It's just
it.
bad.
Did we all know this? Did we no discretion? That's it. Okay, I'll say one thing.
People who have
He's
Okay.
better in the 20s version because there's less of him.
I think he has like 4 lines of dialogue, and then he shows up for a cameo.
And
That's it for season 2.
and he's much more toned down because instead of actually going for the groping of the sexual spots, he tends to just stick to legs, which is a lot more digestible. Still pretty bad, but way easier to handle.
Yes. It's like, it really, really sucks when you have this overtly perverted and heavily dislikable character, and they always get away with it
Every time.
I don't think anyone likes it when the bad character gets away with doing the bad thing.
Yeah. The only positive thing I can say about him is that he kind of interacts with the whole Rama swapping genders. I just hate the way he does it, so
It
bye.
sucks so much.
Put him back in the cave and never see him again, please.
This rolls back to the same issue with the long-running jokes with Ranma and how he transforms in order to fix problems, where the joke is, oh, he's fighting Moose, but now he has to transform into a girl and then put on the bunny outfit and make sure he's got the right lipstick on in order to defeat Moose.
Yeah.
Or specifically, he has to transform into a girl, put on the right lingerie, and make sure it's the right lingerie in order to defeat Haposai. It's like, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
I understand the narrative role. I just think. No, I don't think. I know. I just hate him.
It sucks. It really sucks.
I just hate him. Whatever. You know what? You were right. I should have moved on earlier. But I'll move on to someone else. I have Kuno written here. And, you know,
Tatewaki Kuno.
there's not much I can say about Kuno when I first saw him. Obviously, he's kind of played as a joke. He's a little cringe, but, you know, whatever, right? But I feel the more I thought about Kuno, the more I, especially in the 20s version, in the whole racing across the thing to deliver ramen to him, that episode was great.
Oh, yeah.
But I think I started to like Kuno more because it's the whole thing I've been saying throughout the past 20 minutes. He really interacts a lot with Akane and both male and female Ranma.
Yes. I think this is the reason why Haposai as a character is like even downgraded even more, is considering you already have Kuno who lusts after Akane and Ranma-chan at the same time. So he kind of fills a role for two different characters by being love struck for the poster children. So when you have Haposai who's actively trying to do the same thing, it becomes even more overtly annoying.
Because a lot of good things are already done by Colone when it comes to the martial arts stuff.
Exactly. Yes.
Moving on. Sorry, I interrupted you. Go on.
Oh, no, it's all right. But it's like when it comes to Kuno, he actually grows in this style of, I don't want to say perversion, but of admiration towards these two characters, where there's episodes where he's like, no, I have to focus on being a proper samurai and a swords master. So he rips off the two posters of Akane and Ranma, and then he has like this mental breakdown and then puts them back up on it. And it's like, but that's actually good characterization.
Yeah.
That's actually funny.
Yeah.
That's a good joke.
Yeah. I mean, he's kind of a stupid douche, but I kind of like it. Just because he works pretty well as an antagonist. For the reasons you mentioned of, not only is he antagonizing essentially three characters, that is, you know, both Ranma's and Akane, but in addition, he's also he's conflicting with himself. And compared to other characters like Ryoga and Shampoo, he does it way better. In my eyes.
I agree.
And you know what? I didn't even...
the pigtailed girl.
Exactly. And I didn't comment on it much, but I think Shampoo was strongest in her first arc because she did interact a lot with the male and female Ranma a lot. But it essentially became the same to her over time. And actually, literally after that arc.
It would have been funny if she continued the hatred for Ranma-chan even far later in the season.
Yeah.
Where a lot of people would be like, do you think she'd just get over this by now? It's like, oh, hell no. Now, that's her Chinese Amazoness pride right there. She hates Ranma-chan. But Ranma, on the other hand, he's pretty cool.
Yeah, I would have really liked that. Maybe she's like the most willing to help cure Ranma of the curse.
Ooh, that would be interesting.
So just something a little bit to add to Shampoo. Not to say that, Shampoo has a bit.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to rag on her too much.
And she's very pretty. Very
aesthetically pleasing. We've said it many times.
Yes. Yes.
Do you have anything to say?
Good job, Rumiko. More aesthetically pleasing characters.
Oh, yeah.
You're so good at this.
That's her bread and butter.
How do you do it?
Do you have anything to say about Sasuke? I think he's cool. Cool little ninja guy.
I have like this weird relationship with Sasuke because you and I talk about Naruto too often, where we know Sasuke as Sasuke. However, in the ocean dub for Ranma One Half, everyone pronounces his name as Sasuke or
I
Sasuke.
forgot about that.
So whenever someone refers to him as Sasuke, I can't help but just reimagine it as Sasuke because that's what everyone else keeps calling him. Like, oh my god. Yeah, I think Sasuke is pretty cool. I feel bad that in the 20s version he doesn't exist.
Yeah. I will admit, like, there's not much to him. I just like him a lot because he's kind of like the Glup Shido of Ranma. So that's really the end of it. He has a neat design of and the thing of being a ninja and all, but that's really all to it. It's kind of like looking at
You know what?
I don't know, a Route 4 Pokemon, looking at it like, wow, that's cool. I'm never going to use it, but it's pretty cool that it's there.
Yeah. It's really interesting looking at Sasuke. Sasuke, this is going to be hard. Sasuke and his relationship with Kuno, because I think Sasuke does a better job supporting Kuno as a supportive character than Moose does supporting Shampoo as a supportive character.
I agree. Mostly because it's not romantic, which puts more emphasis on the actual romance that's going on, or this big web string of romance that's going on. I mean, I will say he's better than Hikaru, which is the stalker guy. When it comes to getting...
oh, totally. Yeah, I did not like him.
I guess it's supposed to be like Kuno's espionage teammate. And I think Sasuke is just way less intrusive than Hikaru is.
Yeah, because even Hikaru, like, starts becoming yet another male rival after Akane. And it's like, but clearly it's just not a good fit. So I don't even know how that would work on paper. Mm-hmm. So it's like, why is he here?
To replace Sasuke. Feels bad, man.
And that's the part that sucks.
Feels fucking bad. But I have nothing kind of just negative apathy towards Hikaru. So, whatever.
Yeah.
Kodachi is kind of odd because I've said this many times to Nart, and unfortunately he has to hear it again because the audience might hear this for the first time. I am a sucker for Himideres or Ojo-samas or whatever you want to call them. And Kodachi is one of the best ones out there. I absolutely love her vibe and everything. And there's a little bit of self-insertion you can definitely put with Ranma when it comes to being the male lead and everything. So on those vibes alone, I am super into Kodachi. My problem is that Kodachi just kind of has the same problem as like Hikaru, where she just feels tacked on to the romance and doesn't really interact much with the male and female form that much.
The part that sucks the most is that Kodachi was introduced so early, and she still feels tacked on.
It's because she feels like not a replacement, but she feels like she's trying to fill the same role of Shampoo, and Shampoo just does it way better.
Yeah. But it's like she could have had like some kind of rivalry with Akane or a rivalry with Ranma-chan after Ranma beat her at the gymnastics thing, but that's just never brought up again.
Yeah, because outside of the vibes, the only thing that Kodachi offers that's new is that she's related to Kuno, and that's kind of it.
Yeah.
So what else do you have? I don't even know how you would fit in Kodachi. I don't know, maybe if she interacted more with the male and female form, but once again, Shampoo already kind of does that.
And then so does Akane, which means that you already have the two characters that kind of fit this role. And so you don't technically need a third.
Yeah.
Let alone fourth if you want to keep introducing Ukyo on this side.
Yeah. I think the only thing that could make her more interesting is that she also had romantic feelings towards Akane. But
that'd be interesting.
I guess it would mix things up but I don't know. It'd be kind of the same with Kuno. But the only difference is that Kodachi maybe has a love-hate relationship with Akane. I don't fucking know. I'm spitting right here, and I got nothing for Kodachi. Love her vibes, but
It'd be interesting, and I'm throwing this into the dark here. It'd be interesting if like Kuno's obsession with Ranma-chan and Akane was so detrimental that like he's losing focus on like the house name. So Kodachi hates Ranma-chan and Akane because they're such big distractions for Kuno.
that's a good way to kind of. It's kind of like Moose, right? Where they're supporting a supporting character, but they're kind of building on more things. Yeah, I like that actually. That's a pretty good one. But yeah, what we got was just, the Himidare that likes male Ranma. So that's the end of it.
Yeah.
I have the Tendo household here as a whole.
Let's talk about this family and how awesome they are.
So we got Japanese Randy Marsh.
So Tendo's great.
I love him. He's one of the characters that starts kind of. He's only there for his role, but I guess they just start fucking around with him more. So he leans more into the comedic relief as more time goes on. He's there for the right amount of time, for the right amount of gags, and that's all you really need him for. He's kind of pathetic, but he does give a shit about his daughters. So he does have redeeming qualities.
One of my favorite lines, and I'm going to butcher this completely, it was towards like the end of the show where, oh no, it was in a special, and Kasumi gets she gets possessed by like a little demon, and so what she does is calls in like a family's worth of sushi, because back in the day sushi was really expensive. And Son goes, Kasumi, I don't know if you understand this, but I am a single father who runs a dojo with 2 students. I cannot afford this.
I love how pathetic he is. It's so good.
It's so great. Yeah. Honestly, calling him Randy Marsh is very fitting.
Kind of looks like him, all checks out. But there's a very small but dedicated Kasumi fan base. Not Kasumi, Nabiki fan base.
I raised my hand. Nabiki's freaking great. I love her.
She's money sexual, so it's pretty hard not to dig her vibes.
It's so insane when someone is like so hell-bent on her finance fetishes.
Oh, it's great.
You know what? Nabiki does a great job helping out Kuno, because
the
whole thing is like the whole I'll give you pictures of both Akane and Ranma-chan for like $30.
Nabiki has no allegiances.
It's the best.
Yeah, she's supposed to be the cool sarcastic middle sister, so what's not to love about her.
And she surprisingly does a good job at that too.
You could argue she's also one of the quote-unquote smartest characters, but the bar is low for Ranma.
Yeah, especially like people smart.
Yeah. Okay, and Kasumi is more of a supportive character. Has a little bit of tension considering what the reason why Akane cut her hair was, because she felt she was trying to emulate Kasumi too much and wasn't being her own self.
Yeah.
There was a little bit. And I do like the episodes where they focus on Kasumi, like the filler episodes back in the 90s version.
Mm-hmm.
But she doesn't really play that much of a role. She's just kind of there to be the only normal one, I suppose, in the household.
Yeah. She's very much the supporting character. And her biggest tension is there to cause chaos with Dr. Tofu.
Yeah. And being a massive reference to the main female lead of Maison Ikkoku.
Is that right?
I'm pretty sure. I doubt it, but I watched the first episode of Maison Ikkoku, and I'm like, this main female lead is literally just widowed Kasumi.
Interesting.
Alternate. This is the future where Tofu died, and Kasumi became a
Oh
landlord
no.
and changed her name. Terrible headcanon. Don't write that. And then of course, big old Genma logging around, uh, sometimes being the voice of reason and chaos at the same time, which I think is great.
It's insane how chaotic he can be.
God damn, what's the worst of it? It's gotta be like selling selling Ranma the marriage certificate or whatever for like the cart.
It was, yes, it was promising Ranma to marry Ukyo and then just running away with the okonomiyaki cart.
Such a scumbag.
It's horrible. No, did you ever finish the 90s version?
I definitely have, but quote unquote finished as in the video feed looped back. So I probably watched it, but
Okay.
I haven't actively consumed it.
So, spoilers, major spoilers, but this is explicitly just for how Genma is represented in this show. So plug your ears for a minute. It is insane how Ranma's mom comes back, and out of nowhere she's holding, like, she has like a sword on her back, and everyone's like, "Oh, Miss Saotome, what's with the sword?" Is like, "Oh, flashback. Genma promises Mrs. Saotome that he will take Ranma on this kung fu martial arts master journey, and if they don't come back as respectable men, they would then perform seppuku in front of her." Like, what the fuck? Mind you, Ranma's like 3, and he's already signing off, and Genma's already signing off Ranma's life.
There's a reason Rama became desensitized the way he did.
Oh, it's so fucked.
But yeah, she also has a pretty cool design. I really like. I really like her. I don't know. I guess her older appearance is kind of it adds a different mix to the cast.
Of Ranma's mom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but not that there's much I can say about it, other than of course Genma being the way he did. Probably could
It's a horrible human
probably
being.
could have been a little better, but that's kind of the charm to Genma, is that he obviously has like I don't know. I don't know if he like what do you call it? Genuinely cares about Ranma, or like Ranma is just his pride. It's really hard to tell with Genma.
I'm willing to say it's a large combination of both. He really loves Ranma as a father, but also knows that Ranma being strong is the only reason why they have a house and food right now.
That's fair. Also, it was kind of his whole. He tends to be the cause of a lot of problems, like the origin of them,
Yeah.
and I think that's why
It's-
he's an amusing
yeah.
character.
He's the cause for shampoo, the cause for Ukyo, the cause for the show, really.
The Skittle trails are all there. It all leads up to Genma.
You bastard.
It was me. I did it all.
It should have been called Genma One Half. He was the real ringleader.
He should have been the last boss of the episode. If you want to marry Akane, you have to now defeat your father.
It's like, but Dad, if I don't marry Akane, then we're going to be homeless. Damn it. I surrender.
And his panda form is good. That's that's a given.
It's so iconic.
It's just there to be like, hey, look, random panda walking around.
Yeah. I'm willing to say people know Genma as Panda from Ranma
Oh, yeah.
One Half more than they know Genma himself.
The merchandise speaks for itself.
Absolutely.
So I only have a few bulletin points here. So this is kind of reaching more into the closing points of Ranma.
This is our final words.
So out of the 3 bullet points that I have written here, 20s versus 90s version. Do you have anything to say, Nart?
I think as far as I can tell, with the 20s version being on season 2 and how it just wrapped up, I think the 20s version is doing a much more phenomenal job than the 90s version when it comes to telling the story.
Mm-hmm.
It was when you mentioned using Ranma one half as like your Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where it's so easy to just go back to the 90s version and put on like your favorite episode. Like, I love this episode. The ramen race is such a good
That one was
episode. I want
great.
to rewatch that one again. Or
The theater.
I want to watch the episode with Ryoga versus Ranma on them them seeing out who's the most depressed. Um, it's an actual episode. But it's really difficult to sit down and binge this whole show. And Rumiko kind of mentions this in her book, where it's like, it's it's nice to be able to portray these characters in a very day-to-day lifestyle. So more often than not, when you actually go episode by episode, you start to get a little bored because you start to feel the mundanity of everything. But the mundanity is supposed to be the good part.
Yes.
Because like, oh, everyone's jumping around and throwing firecrackers at each other and everyone's being shoved through walls. The mundanity should be the breath of fresh air behind the chaos.
Yeah.
So if there's one thing that I would highly recommend is sit down and pace your way through the 90s version. I understand it's 161 episodes, but you will love this show a lot more if you don't try to get like 16 episodes done in one day.
Yeah.
You will start to hate the show.
I'd say the 90s versions exceeds more in what they used to be back in the past era, which is just turn on your TV and watch something or pick up a volume and just go in and read or whatever. It
Exactly.
played along those lines a lot well. Meanwhile, the 20s version, since it was obviously made for modern times, it has a lot more binge capabilities. Since it does follow storylines and arcs and transitions to them way better than the 90s version.
Absolutely.
Those transitions would have been awkward back in the day, and it would be awkward for you to just jump into season 2, episode 3 of the 20s version. It's better to start from episode 1.
Yeah.
But for the 90s version, you could just say, I want to watch episode 125. And you'll be fine, as long as it isn't a bad episode. But you'll be fine.
True. Oh God, no! That's the episode where Happosai steals that one lady's underwear and they
Oh, no.
blames it on Ranma.
Yeah, if you see
that's
Happosai in
just
the
the
cover, don't
whole
watch that
episode.
episode. Just
Don't watch it. Like quite there's an episode where Happosai gets cloned, and I quite literally skip that episode.
Good idea.
Just don't watch it. Oh my God. But it really does show like this style of media nowadays, where back in the day when we actually had television and like cable network television, you got to get like a Ranma episode every week. And then the reruns maybe once every other day or something like that. So you would get your new episode and then just everything full of reruns. Nowadays, if it's on Netflix, there's no such thing as commercials or needs for reruns. You just either rewatch it again or move on to something else.
yeah,
You don't have to fill air.
exactly. You have to kind of pause on your own time if you want to, get those breaks.
Exactly.
But yeah, as we recommend always is that I think we've discussed this many times, and that's kind of the thing. Watch the 20s version. Honestly, if you're brand new to Ranma, unless the 90s aesthetic really appeals to you, then go watch the 90s version.
I absolutely agree. I think if you are new to Ranma, the 20s version is a great starting point. And us as fans, I would hope that you liking the the 20s version, much like my situation, leads you into going back to the 90s version.
Yeah. I think if I were a new fan today, I'd probably check out the 90s version more because the vibes are way more immaculate. That feels a lot more in tune with what the era it was all written in. But that's just a very personal preference. Yeah. Other than that, the again 20s version just way more fun and digestible.
Yes. Yeah, the best word to use is digestible.
Yeah. Easily.
And I will say this, the 90s version, both the Japanese and the English versions of the dubs are fantastic.
Exactly. They're great.
However, for Ranma himself, you kind of have to scale over that episode 16, actually like 30 or something like that. You have to measure over until the voice actor changes. And then you can just move on from there.
Oopsie daisy. And I'll say,
because there will be moments.
I experienced a lot of sub Ranma, and I'll still vouch for saying Ranma-chan's Japanese voice actress, top tier for me. Not sure if anyone feels that way.
Super cute.
So,
absolutely.
That's the point. The next bulletin point I have here is your favorite episodes. I mean, there's a lot of good ones we've talked about, and I'd say my favorite episodes probably came from the 20s version of how they were remade. Because
it's funny that you say that, because I think most of my favorite episodes would come from the 90s version.
Interesting. So I guess let's cover the 20s versions real quick, because they're not that many, or the arcs are they're a lot more tied together, so they don't feel like there's a lot. The ice skating one is probably one of the best first ones.
Yeah. Oh, Charlotte. Just funny how they use the phrase of Charlotte for the pig.
Oh yeah, it was great. I've talked about how much I love the first episode. That's probably still one of my favorites.
I absolutely agree.
The theater arc is it's probably one of the one that gave Akane the most context in the 20s version to me.
That one did such a much better job in the 20s version.
Yeah. Especially with Hapasai turned down.
Oh, thank God. No, but it was definitely the moment where it's like, oh, the Romeo and Juliet like kissing bit, and then Akane like fools Ranma, and she's like so sly about it, and I'm like, oh, you sly gal, you, good for you.
She does care.
Oh, and I see that face, Ranma. You're feeling things. Ooh.
There's that one and the racing one, which I think was great for Kuno.
Absolutely.
And there's the beach one too, but that was like a big, massive arc altogether.
Yeah, your U Beach episode.
It's really good one. Can't deny it. You know, the rest are good, but I didn't feel too much when the Moose arc came in. And I was like, it's still good.
I did find it funny how that one kind of just overtly expresses how much no one likes Moose, considering he just gets his ass handed to him.
It's very notable. Okay, so you said your favorites were in the 90s versions. Let's get into those.
All right, let's see if you remember these ones. There was an episode, or actually no, it was episodes. Multiple episodes where it was Ranma versus Ryoga, and Ryoga had learned this new technique, basically like the Kamehameha of the Ranma franchise, but it was based and red pilled. The whole ability was based on how sad someone was, and
so this is the one you're talking about.
Yeah, so Ryoga's like power came from the fact that he doesn't have Akane, and then so he tries to fight Ranma with this. It's basically them just throwing Kamehamehas full of depression at each other.
That's really good. I don't remember that one.
It's the best. And then Cologne has to come up and be like, you do understand that the more that you use these, the more you're just going to become like legitimately suicidal. It's like, oh God. And then so Ranma has to recreate the technique. So now that the emotion that that fills it is courage, which that technique is then pushed over to the Shonen Jump 60th anniversary special with Rumiko's characters, where Ranma-chan blasts away oh god, the pervert from her first series, the Urusei one.
Yeah, what did it say?
Yeah, where they blast away, and I'm like, oh, I know what that is. And then there's another episode where Ranma and Akane are having a fight as per usual, and then Nobiki comes around and she's like, I don't know, Akane, I think Ranma kind of has like a point for this one. And then Akane's like, oh yeah, then why don't you date each other then? And then it's like, oh yeah, what if they did? Because technically Ranma never had a chance to either side with Nobiki or Kasumi.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it just immediately started off with them and Akane. And it was just kind of like an interesting go about where Ranma's like, yeah, I don't actually like hanging out with Nobiki. I kind of miss the fighting with Akane. And Nobiki is just kind of like poking and prodding at Akane the whole time, trying to get her to confess, like, yes, you do miss Ranma, and you do miss that little spark between you two. And it's like, oh, I have a much more valued respect for Nobiki. Like, good for her.
Yeah, they're great in that arc.
Other than that, I don't remember too many that immediately come to mind.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of myself, like, besides the movies, because they stand out by their own right. A lot of them do kind of meld together a bit. What's that one where Ranma is wearing an orange top for the most of the scenes? Forgot that fucking movie.
That's the by orange, do you mean an orange tunic or the orange shirt with a bow tie?
Tunic.
Oh, I think that was a movie or a special, because I know that he only changes tunics for specials. There was the Christmas one near the very end of the series where he goes from red to purple, and I'm like, oh, that's random, new, but kind of cool. I like it. Let me see.
I forgot what it was. I liked which one is it? Kessen, yeah, this one. Kessen Tongekyo. What's the English translation for that one? That's the one I really liked.
Tassen Kongekyo? I'm probably not spelling this right.
It's the one where, like, Rama has long fucking hair. And wears, like, a dress and shit.
Oh, the movie.
Yes, the movie. Sorry. If I didn't make that clear enough.
God, that movie, holy hell. If you want some of the best Ranma fan service, go watch that movie. It is insane.
You got a plethora of it.
A lot of it.
But yeah, sorry, if we're talking about just episodes.
Oh no, that's okay. I can even talk about the special, which I recommend everyone watch. It's the 60th Shonen Jump anniversary, where you get a collaboration Ranma episode with Inuyasha and Urusei.
Oh, that one. Yeah, that one's pretty fun.
Yeah, my favorite part of the whole thing, and it's always like these little tidbits where Inuyasha and Ranma are having a conversation, and Inuyasha's like, hey, why do you sound like me so much? And Ranma's like, yeah, I don't know. And then only to find out that Inuyasha and Ranma's voice actors are the exact same, both in English and in Japanese. Which I like, that joke alone is technically universal.
That one's pretty good.
And like, I love that.
Same voice
I love
actors
that
is
so
always a
much.
great vibe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of like the '90s episode that I like, but again, it all just blurs too much together for me to remember very clearly.
That's what I was talking about with like the mundanity about everyday life, where a lot of the times all these episodes do tend to start flowing into one another.
Yeah. You know, there's one that I liked actually that I can
Um,
remember. It's the one. It's the one I previously mentioned, where you go into Hapasai and Colone's past, where you kind of get a lot more context for Hapasai was always like this.
yes.
I did like that one for whatever it's worth, but I don't know if I love it though. Um,
How much do you love Principal Kuno?
what happened in that?
The Hawaiian head principal of the high school that they go to, which I have no idea if they're going to keep this up in the 20s version, but I really hope they do.
I guess we'll find out. I can't really remember it off the top of my
It's
head though.
it's really funny when and I'll share this picture with you if it lets me.
Let's find out.
Oh, it won't let me. Oh, it won't let me. Okay, fine. Um,
I'm gonna put up the really weird episode where Rama-chan and Rama Man becomes two different people. That one's a bit weird. I don't know if I like it that much, but I do remember it. So
oh, I don't remember that episode actually.
that was a weird one. I think there's 2 episodes, but I don't fucking whatever. Are you still trying to send the picture?
Yeah, here it is. Right there.
Oh yeah. Once I see this guy, I know immediately what you're talking about. Right.
He's such a horrible character, but he's portrayed so hilariously.
He does have that Genma vibe.
Yeah.
Here's a sneeze.
It's just always funny how he's depicted as to be Principal Kuno, which is Kuno and
Wow,
Kotachi's
what a
dad.
coincidence.
Voiced by the phenomenal Scott McNeil,
That's great.
Canada's #1 cowboy.
But do you have any other ones, or we can just move on to the last bullet point here?
Remember the time? I remember you mentioning not liking the Shadow Ranma episode. I think I kind of like that one.
Really?
Yeah. I like the idea of him having to like come to terms like he's getting too addicted to like training where he just needs to learn how to relax sometimes.
Okay. I might have to rewatch that one to really take it all in.
Mm.
But yeah, that's fair. All right. On my last bulletin point here, it's just an excuse for me to preach this over and over again because I really like it. But the bulletin point is headcanons. And the one I always love saying every single time is what happens if a woman goes into the pool, into the pool of drowned woman. And my headcanon is that if a woman goes inside, they drown. Because that's what it says on the label. Every time. I always love mentioning that one.
It is definitely an interesting one. Because you drown. It's the pool of drowned women. So if a woman drowns in the pool of drowned women, they drown.
That's meant to happen. It's on the label. Don't let your cats near the pool of drowned cat. Guess what happens? They don't transform into a cat. They just drown. There's some cosmic force that pulls them.
It becomes like a oh god, like quicksand, and there's just no way out.
Yeah. I don't know if I got any other headcanons. I know the other one is the reason. I guess my new headcanon that I just talked about was Akane is possibly misandrist.
I
Justifiably from her
still think it's an
circumstances as a teenager, I might add.
I still think it's an interesting it's an interesting way to look at it. like for sure.
Yeah. Obviously, it has to be more explicit, but whatever. Uh, I have another one that I didn't talk about much, but I kind of have in my head where Ranma was created in Rumiko's head because she went to Chinatown once and wanted to create a whole series on it. Don't think that's true,
Oh hell yeah!
but
I would hope so.
I think that's a small one.
It would be amazing if someone, uh, if like she had a friend that took like a vacation to somewhere like Beijing
Oh,
or
I see.
Shanghai,
Yeah.
and they came back and they're like, "Hey, Rumiko, check out this water that I got from China." Someone said it was like cursed or something, and she's like, "I could totally write that."
38-year-old Rumiko was like, oh,
Like the beautiful mind equation's like, that's perfect.
I was trying to think of like, oh geez, how do the Japanese express an extreme level of like that's an amazing idea? But I think it really is just Sugoi with shocked face, which is kind of a lame answer,
Yeah.
but whatever. The Japanese are
It's
people
the
of straightforward and few words.
it's the shocked face with like action lines behind them.
Yeah.
Do I don't know, never mind, we're past episodes.
You can talk about it. We're still doing the podcast.
Do you remember Hinako Sensei, the was it the teacher that looks like a 10-year-old, but if she steals your life force, she becomes like this 28-year-old.
Rana Hinako. What did she look like? Oh, this one.
Yeah.
Do you have strong feelings about Hinako? Because I forgot.
No. I'm like, this is such a weird concept, but okay.
Spring of drowned mature woman? I don't know. I have no clue.
No, the whole thing was like she was dying of some kind of cancer or whatever, and then Happosai taught her how to steal life force from people. And the only drawback is she has to continuously do it to look her age, or else she reverts back to looking like a child.
I see. Damn, I barely remember that one, man.
I think it was like 2 episodes long.
Yeah, I'm looking through. It's like, damn. I completely forgot about this character.
Do you remember the French people?
I remember it now because of how much you hated it.
It's so bad. Part of me deep down inside, like, kind of hopes that Rumiko had nothing to do with those characters.
She comes out and said, "This is what the show was always meant to be."
My friends, I took a trip to France one time, and then I came back, and this is exactly how I depicted them. Just these weird psychos with extremely large foremouths that eat food super duper fast.
The typical look of how a Japanese sees a Westerner.
Absolutely.
But yeah, do you have anything else to say about Rama? Because we're, I think, about hour and a half or so.
I think that's about it. I say give Ranma 1/2 a chance. If you've always been on the back foot, being like, oh yeah, it looks neat. I know what that is. It's something. I say watch it. Give it a shot.
And if you're a long-term fan, don't worry, we're here with you, trying to wait for season 3 of the 2020 version.
Well, to be fair, the season 2 just finished, so
I need to consume the content even more. It's all right.
I know. It's going to be the same thing with the new JoJo, where it's like, season 1 of Steel Ball just dropped. Where's my season 2?
It's all right. My favorite episodes have already been animated, so I'm good.
My curiosity is just going to be what it is that they will be putting in the 20s version.
Yeah.
Now that I've actually finished the 90s version.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd say that's gonna do it for us. So how about we just go close this off entirely? All right.
Absolutely.
Thanks everyone for joining us and watching this Rama One Half podcast. With me today was Roderick D. Narrator.
If you guys find yourself near any hot springs in China, make sure to stay the fuck away from those things.
Especially considering how the water looks like over there.
Seriously.
And I have been Hazar. And once again, thanks everyone for joining us. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.